I don't see me on the thing. So.
2, 1.
Oh, that's cool.
Doctor Who!
Hey, look, that's us.
It is us. Hey.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. So, hello, everyone. I'm Rick. I am the Keeper of the Force. Normally, I think they call it like a Game Master for this or something, but that's boring. I don't like that. So, yeah, that's going to be my title because we are playing Star Wars. This is our first session. Excuse me. First session. Thanks, Affy. Just distracting me with chat. Yeah, this is our first session. Unfortunately, we are down 2 players. One we knew we were going to be missing. The other, just life happens. So we're going to be a little bit short. We're going to make it work, though, and we're going to have a good time. So before we get started, I'm going to go over our announcements. As always, our sponsor for tonight is Canadian Dice. Go to canadiandice.ca. Use the code THEVACTER, all one word, at checkout for 15% off your order. And Maggie's dice pick is Thunderstruck because none of the dice had noodles in them, and she was upsetty spaghetti. So apparently these dice looked like Thor pooped them out. I don't know what that means, but I'm here for it. Next up, check out our merch store at tinyurl.com/vacmerch. All kinds of awesome stuff. Affy, if you want to tell me in the chat, how long is the 12 days of TTRPG stuff up? Because I don't know. But okay, so you still got a little bit more time through the first-ish week of January to pick up the 12 days of TTRPG stuff designed by Affy, and all the proceeds go to Extra Life. And speaking of, in case you didn't know, because we've been doing this for, a while now, we're raising money for Extra Life. We did just hit the stretch goal. And I think we hit I don't know, numbers. It's not on here. But yeah, you can still donate to be entered to the prize.
I think we went a little bit over.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's
only a little bit.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
No, it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, the prize will be drawn. You've got until the 1st, or not 1st. Wow, I can't read today. The 2nd of January, 2024. Any donations are appreciated, and we'll get you entered into the big giveaway with all kinds of stuff like the GUI Cube starter pack, Extra Life swag, dice stickers, Vactera merch, and so much more. The link is in the chat. I think it's pinned. Oh, thank you, Artemis. Just over 1,500. So, last thing is the schedule. So, coming up on Wednesday, Wasteland Saga is over on Goodman Games at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday is the Song of Crystal and Shadow with our lovely Sophia at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Asphyxious 5 is back at 8:30 as well. And as always, check out our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. It's more than 2 seconds. But anyway, who wants to introduce themselves and their character?
We have a group hydrate, so let's get that out of the way. And that was unkind, Sophia.
I'm just doing what Rick always does. I blame Rick.
Oh, to be fair, we do have someone who's not on cam, so
yeah. But she can see me in Discord.
Yeah, I can totally see you in Discord.
Listen, Artemis, I will always say that part out loud. Always. Okay, so Zan or Liz who wants to go first?
Okay, if I'll go first then. Okay. Hi, I'm Cat Lady Liz. I'm a relative young cub in terms of this role-playing game and stuff. But I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm, I think, slowly but surely getting a little bit better at it. Do you want me to introduce my character as well?
Yes, please.
You do? Okay. Tonight, then, I will be playing a medical droid whose name is 41 Vex. That is my official designation. And I do quite often find that I'm called Vex, which is okay. But I'm very rarely vexed, which is a good thing, I think. I have been a fully programmed medical droid since my first inception. I am, unfortunately, however, having been stuck on this maker-forsaken hole of a planet, I find myself not able to keep up with the latest inventions, the latest new ways to look after people. However, I do concentrate very hard on improving myself as much as I can. Unfortunately, that has been very limited due to a issue I have with one Timo the Hutt. I am, unfortunately, currently, or until very recently at any rate, I was stuck with said Timo the Hutt because of a foolish thing I did in order to try and get myself off this maker-forsaken planet. And I am, therefore, in a slightly difficult position now. I did have a restraining bolt. However, my very dear friend, Conquer, has removed that for me. And I am therefore now in a position of having free will, which is very nice and something that I haven't had for a very long time. And I intend to make the most of it.
And for those of you watching, Conquer is our Wookiee who is unfortunately not here tonight. Totally based on Conky from Trailer Park Boys. So, enjoy that mental picture of a Wookiee based on that little shit. Exactly. Thank you, Affy. All right. Who wants to go next?
Oh, Lord. I guess that'll be me. You'll have to forgive me. I have a little bit to read here. Hi, I'm Zanderia. As the command now says, I am on Instagram and YouTube as Speedy Sweetheart. I'm also on here as Flamewolf6. You guys see me chatting about quite a bit whenever I can be here. I'm playing a character called Jynne Argus. She is a human technician, and this is where I read that off, right?
Yeah, go for it.
In a different life, Jynne would have been a successful research engineer at a major corporation headquarters in the core worlds in this life. Jynne grew up hard on the streets of Anchorhead and Tatooine. Orphaned at a young age, Jynne was burdened with a powerful intellect and no useful way to apply it. She slid into the life of thuggery and crime until one fateful day when she attempted to rob a shop belonging to an old Rodian mechanic named Hanwoo. Hanwoo made no particular attempt to resist, but seeing young Jynne's fascination with a particularly stripped machine on their workbench, they offered to teach the young human how it worked. 6 hours later, Jynne's friends came by to see what had gone wrong and found her covered in machine oil, helping to repair a repulsor array. Over the next few years, Hanwoo taught Jynne the ins and outs of every machine that came through their repair shop. With no formal education, Jynne developed an unorthodox, I'm having issues tonight, but effective approach that relied heavily on trial and error. They also found that they enjoyed tinkering and repurposing existing machines, turning them into new purpose. For example, their customized shop gloves began their life as power converters. Most of Hanwoo's business had to do with repair, maintenance, and reprogramming of Tatooine's limited supply of droids. As a consequence, Jynne became a droid expert. Their skills eventually came to the attention of a Hutt named Timu, and Mathis, it was original. I had to change the name. Was offered an impressive sum of credits to make their skills available at Timu's Mos Shuda complex. Since their arrival on Mos Shuda, Jynne has regretted their decision. The project Timu has them working on is completely unsuited to their skills. Their experience gives them the skills necessary to repair busted old battle droids, but they completely lacked the education to develop a schematic based on the design. And when they attempted to leave, Timu hinted that something bad might happen to Hanmu if they did. Fed up and backed into a corner, Jynne has decided to make a break for it. First, she introduced some new code into one of Timu's old droids, the 41 Vex, to encourage the droid to escape too. Then they struck up a friendship with a scout named Sasha, attempting to pool their resources to try and get off Tatooine.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Jynne definitely made it to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters, unlike Luke.
Definitely.
All right, Sophia.
Hi, I'm Sophia. You can find me here on the Vector on Thursday evenings, running my Final Fantasy 14 game with my Chaos crew, and generally all over the place with other games and things. And tonight, for the next few weeks, I will be playing Oskara, who is a Twi'lek bounty hunter. Back on her home planet of Ryloth. She was usually pretty good at staying one step ahead of like all the press gangs, but her sister wasn't. And when her sister got caught one day, she basically offered herself up as tribute instead of her sister, claiming and lying at the time to be an experienced bounty hunter. But by some quirk of the force, her first job went really well, and she started training under a veteran hunter, and she got more and more duties. As long as she did well, her sister was safe until she got loaned out to Timo the Hutt out on Tatooine. He uncovered a plot by Timo against her former gang, who is still keeping her sister hostage. So she decided to team up with Conker, and Conker's friend, the pilot. Sorry, with people changing names and not being here, I'm a little. I'm still trying to catch up. She sent a warning. She sent a warning out back to Ryloth saying, "Hey, Timo's coming," and got caught and is now on the run. She's typically, because of all the kind of hard knock life she's had, she's pretty cynical, pretty jaded. But she's also kind of very emotionally not dead, but quiet. Very much professional and very serious, focusing on results, which may or may not catch her under the eye of certain individuals later on.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you want to mention the other thing besides being a Twi'lek, or do you want to keep that for later?
We'll keep that for later, because the whole running from Timo thing. Yeah. See how that all interacts with that other half of her.
Yeah, I'll just keep it under the Leku for a minute.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anything else?
No, not for me.
All right. I guess I should probably, introduce who I am other than the keeper. I'm Rick. I am the GM, or whatever I decide to call myself, for Name of the Gods podcast. I'm also here a lot and write for Even Footing Games, and I'm there a lot. So I'm just kind of wherever people let me be. But yeah, we're going to get started if everybody's ready.
Yeah, well.
Cool.
Let's go.
This is the Escape from Mos Shuta. As we mentioned, everyone is in some way indebted to Timo the Hutt. And currently, it is a period of unrest and opportunity in the galaxy. The Galactic Empire struggles to maintain control in the midst of civil war. Meanwhile, scoundrels and smugglers, explorers and expatriates, and fringers of all types scramble for a living on the edges of galactic civilization. It's a hard life, but these renegades have more freedom and opportunity than any citizen of the core worlds. On the desert world of Tatooine, out here in the ass end of the galaxy, a few such renegades have run afoul of a local crime boss, Timo the Hutt. Trapped in the tiny spaceport of Mos Shuta, the much less famous bastard child, it's not like Mos Eisley. This is a small hive of scum and villainy. These renegades have no choice but to steal a starship and flee Timo's forces. Fortunately, our heroes don't know this yet, a suitable starship has recently docked at the landing bay, a freighter called the Crate Fang, captained by a Trandoshan slaver named Trex. As they flee through the sun-baked streets, the renegades duck into a local cantina to hide from their pursuers. And immediately, because you all have been on the run through the desert, you all will take 2 strain. So you guys are taking some damage right out the gate.
Okay.
All right. So you all have ducked into this cantina. And of course, my PDF just crapped out on me. 1 second. It was good until I started doing stuff.
Wouldn't be a stream without technical issues.
Accurate. Gonna buffer for a minute. So while I'm getting that pulled back up and back to where it needs to be, you all enter this cantina. You are being pursued by a small group of Timo's thugs. What are you all doing?
Wow. We're all a bunch of talkative lot, aren't we?
First game with a new group.
Can I just obviously my first concern is with my companions. Are either of you injured in any way or require any medical support that I might be able to give?
I was about to ask this.
Other than being strained. That is because we are all strained.
We're all tired in some form or fashion. I was going to ask the same thing of you, see if I could help in any way, shape, or fashion.
I could do with an oil bath, but I don't imagine you've got one of those.
Unfortunately, this time, no.
No. Well, we'll just have to make do, I suppose. It's not as though I'm not used to being full of sand and rust and all the rest of it. I can survive. For now.
I never imagined being on a sand-encrusted planet for so long, but here we go.
What about
do we need... Carry on.
She's just keeping quiet and keeping an eye out, because these are the kinds of places where if you talk too loudly, someone is going to rat you out for credits.
Yeah, the Hive of Scum and Villainy is a well-deserved title.
Yeah.
Indeed.
If it's not the Empire, then it's to the Hutts. If it's not to the Hutts, it's usually someone in the Bounty Hunters Guild. Speaking from experience.
Ideally, I suppose, if we are we in a position, is the cantina full? Is it busy?
It's busy. I wouldn't say full. Now that my PDF is working again, there we go. Let me pull up. I didn't give a picture for the cantina because it was potato quality, unfortunately, whenever I tried to do that. So I will get that in front of me. As you enter, there is, along the left-hand side, a bar that takes up a pretty considerable amount of the cantina. Along the right-hand side, there are booths that are semi-secluded. There are tables kind of scattered amongst the middle area and a stage with a band performing. You all know that you could likely try to hide here in some way. And you know that you do not have very long before these Gamorreans catch up to you.
May I suggest that we see if one of these booths is free? And if it is, get into it.
Not only that, but, act like we're part of the crowd instead of trying to hide.
Indeed.
I mean, still, in its own way, trying to hide. Just a, slightly more out in the open version.
Be more inconspicuous about it instead of, oh my god, help.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Are you all going for a booth?
The alternative, of course, is that we could just go round behind the bar, but I think that might attract attention.
More than we want.
More than one.
So behind the bar, you see that there is a Deveronian who appears to be the bartender. They are a little bit human-like in a way, but they do have two large horns that stick almost straight up out of their heads. A little bit like a Twi'lek, but, without the Leku and just horns. As you enter, they stop in their chores to stare at you, just kind of bewildered at this small group of people busting in out of breath and probably very dirty at this point. On stage, against the far wall, a Twi'lek woman dances to the music. Private booths line the walls, as I said. A few patrons turn in their seats to stare at you. It does look like there is some sort of exit on the other side of the, behind the stage, essentially. There are also heavy struts that seem to support the roof that you think you could possibly hide there if you wanted as well. So, if you all want to go for the booths, I will need cool rolls from all of you.
Oh.
And this will be, I'm going to say you'll have 2 difficulty dice, so 2 of the purple dice on your roll, please.
Oh, fun.
Where's the dang app? There it is. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3.
One of them. 2 of them. Go. Ooh. I get 3 successes and 1 threat.
Okay. One really nice thing here is that your failures and your successes, they cancel each other out. So you'll only get however many go over. So you got a very good result there, other than the 1 threat. That's not great, but you already had some threats.
Right.
Indeed.
I ended up with 1 success and 1 advantage.
Ooh, okay.
I'm trying to make sure I read this correctly
Absolutely.
because this app is not intuitive.
Yeah, the dice roller might actually be a better option.
Yeah, I actually think it is, honestly. That cancels that. That cancels that. Yeah, I got 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, and oh, good.
Might it be worth mentioning to those who are sort of watching on that we're not using ordinary dice?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. This version of the Star Wars TTRPG, originally by Fantasy Flight, I don't know who's publishing it now, uses kind of its own set of dice. They are still the same. I think they're D8s and D12s, but instead of numbers, it has a different set of symbols. There's success and failure, advantage, disadvantage, threat and advantage. Freaking D&D in my brain. and something else that I'm blanking on now, and it's not in front of me. But basically, it determines... What's that?
The Force dice as well, the Destiny ones?
No. What was it? It was something we just talked about, but... Anyway. Oh, it was the crits. And that's not super important right now, because we're going to not worry about them at the moment. Basically, this is a narrative dice system. Artemis, I don't know if it's like the Alien RPG dice because I haven't played it, so I have no frame of reference for that. My closest comparison would be World of Darkness, so like Hunt of the Reckoning, Werewolf of the Apocalypse, and Vampire the Masquerade, and that it uses symbols. They kind of, in this, they cancel each other out, so you just get the total result. Yeah, that's the closest I could compare it to. But yeah, so I think because we had a threat and an advantage, I'm going to let those cancel each other out as well, even though it's from two different people. And so you all make your way to a booth trying to fit in with this crowd. Most Shudo, much like a lot of places on Tatooine, is controlled by the Hutts. A lot of sketchy things happen, so this is not horribly unusual for people to run in. Enough that, it does, like I said, get the bartender's attention, but, excuse me, mostly just to make sure that you guys aren't coming in to shoot up the place. And as long as you're behaving, it's probably not that big of a deal. So, because we all rolled pretty well, the Gamorreans who were following you, which for people who are not as knowledgeable, just off the top of their head, of Star Wars lore, Gamorreans are a little bit shorter, kind of stout fellows that have a pig-like snout and tusks and green skin. These very intimidating, short but intimidating foes carry heavy clubs that are very obviously used for breaking bones. So, after you hide yourselves, a small troop of them comes in carrying these clubs. You know them to be Teimo's enforcers who have been following you. They blink their beady eyes in the gloom, and seeing nothing of interest, they grunt and whine in their language and turn to go. You know that they're going to keep looking for you until you take them out. This is an opportunity, if you so choose, to strike, but you do not have to.
The sooner we take care of them, the better.
Yes, I think you may be correct there. It is unfortunate, though.
It is unfortunate, but at least now they're not going to get the jump on us. We can get the jump on them.
That is a very good point. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes, I am slowly but surely coming round to your way of thinking. Yes. Yeah.
As long as we don't take out any innocent bystanders, it's a little crowded in here.
Yes, but they have just gone out again, haven't they? Didn't they?
Yeah, they've turned to leave. They haven't quite left, as you guys are discussing.
We can knock them outside. We can literally give them one good hit and just knock them out the door.
And it
won't hurt. And it won't hurt anyone.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say if you would like to try to physically engage with them rather than shoot them, I will, because you guys have the drop on them. They haven't noticed you. I would let you go first. And then that would be, I believe, a brawl. Let me see.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. I'm not normally the combat person here, but can I get the jump on them?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you would have the opportunity to go first. And I would say either brawl or melee, whichever's better.
Let me look at both. It looks like I have a proficiency in Brawl, so Brawl it is.
And you'll just roll with 1 difficulty dice on this.
Okay. Oh, wow. So I'm using my shot gloves, I believe, and I don't know if that adds anything to that.
Not to your roll. It would do for damage.
Okay. 3 successes, 1 advantage.
Okay, yeah. That is pretty fantastic. Let's see. Does it give, on your shot gloves, a damage rating?
Damage 3.
Okay.
And it has a dice pool. Well, the dice pool is the Brawl, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. You deal 3 damage on a hit plus 1 damage per success symbol rolled.
Yep. So let me see. Gamorreans are decently tough. Yeah, you are able to shock one of them. It doesn't take it out. It seems to possibly absorb some of the, not like it's absorbing electricity, just like maybe the armor that it wears is protecting it somewhat. But yeah, they're both still standing. I'll give the rest of you the opportunity to act as well before they take their turn.
I think that I'm not exactly made for brawling. However, I do have a light blaster. And I think what I would probably do is back up.
You've got a little bit of space. They weren't like right.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, they weren't right in front of on top of us. So I think I would fire that at the one that has not just been thumped.
Absolutely.
If I may.
You sure can.
Is, hang on. 2 greens. And you want me to have 1 purple?
Yes, please.
On difficulty?
Yep.
Result, 2 advantages.
Okay. No successes?
No successes.
Okay,
well,
so
I rolled a success, but
I
got 2 advantages instead. Yeah, it cancels out.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, you're still able to shoot it. It doesn't seem to hit it solidly enough that it looks like it takes any damage, but maybe you kind of turn it towards its ally, and they appear to be a little bit confused. They're not the smartest, typically. Their intellect is a 1, and so they don't fully understand what just happened, and they start just kind of pushing each other. But Oskara, it is your turn.
I'm going to grab my carbine and I am going to shoot as the as the shooty one out of the 3 currently here.
I will say with the carbine, you'll have 2 difficulty dice unless you do some movement.
Maneuvers. Let me look at that real quick. This move, interact, manage, aim. Yeah, I'm not making any other maneuvers or actions, so I can aim. Which will
gives you a focus dice, which is something that I forgot to mention that happens with aiming, but now you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with focused aim. Just I'm not doing a targeted one or anything because that's
sure
a pain. Because that's the opposite. That's not doesn't give me a boost. So I get 1 boost in addition to my usual dice pool. Because the target's engaged in melee, do I take any additional difficulty because the rules say I'm supposed to?
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll make it 3 difficulty, so it's going to be a tough shot, but it is doable.
Yep.
If anyone can do it.
Let me get one of these. Oh, I need to actually remember it's 3 difficulty. 1 success and 2 advantages. So
Oh, fantastic.
let me look real quick. The suggested use of where is it? Combat checks.
Wait, for damage?
Not for damage. My damage is 9 on
Holy
my
crap. Counting
my
your
carbine.
success or without the success?
That's without the success. That goes up to 2.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. So between the damage that Jynne did and then your shot here, you are able to essentially assassinate both of them. You pop off a shot into each one, dropping both of them. There are no enemies currently. Everyone, as you guys attacked these Gamorreans, kind of ducked and hid. The dancer is no longer dancing, even though the music is still going. The bartender kind of pops their head up from behind the bar. What are you guys doing?
We need to get out of here.
Yes, I agree with you entirely. However, I am just going to go. I walk over to the bar and very nonchalantly, if it's a word that you can use about a droid, drop a few credits on the counter so that they, just to make up for the inconvenience, as it were.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah. And this Deveronian, as they stand up, they give just kind of a tense laugh and say, I guess you folks need to get off this planet in a hurry, don't you? Those were Timo's goons.
We do.
You would be correct there, yes.
Well, I have some good news for you. There's a ship that could get you off planet.
How quick?
Depends on how quick you are.
And what
The bad news.
What do you get for telling us this?
Favors are always a good bartering currency.
Of course.
But really, the issue here is the bad news. While there is a ship, it belongs to Trex, who may be an associate of Timo's, and he's not just going to let you on. The other bad news is that it's in the landing bay, but it has a broken hypermatter reactor igniter, and it's not going to be flying anywhere, at least not at light speed, anytime soon. You might be able to get one from the junk shop. You could ask Vorn. But other than that, that's all I got for you. And you really need to get out of my cantina.
One further question. The name of this ship?
It's the Crate Dragon.
Thank you.
Thank you. She would make sure she had her bag, and at the door she'd get out.
Yep.
All right.
Closely followed by Vex.
And Oskara, once she's done eyeing up Deveronian to make sure she's not that they're not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not wearing a wire, basically. They're not going to pull out a comm link and suddenly say, "Hey, Timo, they're going this way."
I mean, it's hard to say. It's very possible, but I think you're more likely to be of the opinion that if they were going to do something like that, they probably would have just helped the Gamorreans rather than hiding and then helping you.
Yeah.
So I just put in our chat the picture of the Mos Shuta map. So where you all are is the cantina kind of on the south near the Dubak stables. The junk shop is not very far away. There's only a few buildings in between you and it. But you are also not horribly far from Timo's palace.
This I noticed. Well, we know the area because we've all been here for a long time. So, may I suggest that we just head for the junk shop and see if we can get this part? If we provide this person with the parts, it might persuade them to let us use their vehicle. What do people think?
As the associate in question is an associate at Tumo's, we may have to take them out and take the ship by force and just load the parts on and repair them ourselves.
We might, yes.
Which is fine by me. I'm just saying that it's unlike, I don't know if we're going to be able to negotiate with them, but then again, everyone has a price one way or another.
Indeed.
And Vex, because you have some pretty good mechanical skills as well, I think you would probably know if you were able to obtain this part, that would be a good bartering chip to have in order to either convince Trex to let you on, or, in some way, maybe lie your way into getting on board the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
At least getting, into the landing bay.
Yes, I believe that this would be possible. Yes.
So, as this encounter has ended with the Gamorreans, each of you is able to recover strain equal to your presence or your ranks in the cool skill, whichever is greater. So, if you have any points in either, you can potentially recover the strain that you've lost.
Presence or cool skill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
No, I don't have any actual rank. I don't have any ranks in either.
That's surprising, being a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I have a pool for cool, but I don't have actually any bought ranked. So
interesting.
I have 2 presents. Therefore, my strain is unstrained.
Same.
Yeah, Vex is good.
Vex is fine.
Oskara, not so fine, but you're doing okay. You've got a lot of strain to take.
Mm-hmm.
You've only lost 2 out of 13, so.
And I have armor. So.
Yeah, got that nice soak value there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to say you all probably had this conversation as you're headed towards the junk shop, unless you have something else in mind.
No.
That was my thinking, that we were making haste, but not obvious haste, because we're trying not to attract attention. So
Absolutely.
we don't want to look as though we are in a hurry, even though we are.
Sure. So the junk shop is immediately obvious by the scrapyard adjoining the low pourstone building. As you step inside, you see a hunched old man lurking behind a low counter, covered with disassembled droid and machine parts. He glances up at you and turns to the garbage can-shaped R5 droid standing beside him. You would know this to be an astromech. Similar to R2, but red, and instead of the half dome top, it's a little bit more of a cone without the point. And turning to this droid, he kicks it and shrieks, "You're supposed to tell me when I have customers, you bucket of bolts. Go outside and finish stripping that speeder bike." The droid makes some, typical droid noises, as astromechs can't communicate in BASIC. And the man turns to you and says, "Welcome, customers. As you can see," points to the racks and shelves, "I have anything you could want for the right price."
Indeed. So I see. We are looking for something in quite specific. Except that because of my various quirks and issues, I can only remember half the name of it. hypermatter something or other, I think was what was said.
Oh, the reactor igniter, I bet.
Ah, that's it. That's quite right. That's correct. Yes, that was the rest of it. Yes. Igniter reactor. That's perfect. Thank you. Yes, that is what we are looking for.
Kind of mumbles something to himself about droids and poor memory.
Mm-hmm. Do you have such a thing?
I might. I could check. How many credits do you have to offer?
That would depend upon the state of the item.
Well, I mean, obviously I have nothing but the finest quality here.
Well, we will deal with that when we see what you're offering.
The issue is, I've already promised it to someone else. So, unless you can pay more than they were.
Okay, what are they offering for the pot?
500 credits.
Is there a way for me to do the equivalent of an insight check to establish whether or not he's just inflated that?
Let's see. Let me look at what would make the most sense.
I'll let Liz do that first, and then I'll probably try to enter negotiations.
I would say
try and haggle.
Right.
That's what I was going to ask.
I would say probably maybe like cunning, which is one of your abilities or your characteristics, or streetwise.
Okay. Yes, let's go for streetwise. Just see what happens.
You're a droid of the streets.
I'm a droid of the streets. Well, I've been working
you have been around the huts and living in Moschuda, so yeah, you probably are a droid of the streets.
Indeed, yes. Okay, I get one advantage.
Hey, okay. So you can't really tell whether he's lying or not, but it does seem like it's on the level that's about how much it would cost typically.
Very well. I find myself wondering whether there may be scope for discussion around this.
It's a pretty firm price. I don't know. But Oskara, you wanted to do some bartering?
And immediately after that exchange, she just kind of folds her arms with like 600.
You're offering 600?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose I could take that.
Just out of curiosity, can I ask, are you at liberty to tell us who this other purchaser is?
I mean, I don't see why not. There's no confidentiality agreement. It's Captain Trex. You might have heard of him.
Yes, we have. The interesting thing here, and as Rex is gearing up to say what's coming next, they cast a quick glance at their companions to make sure that they are on the on track, as it were, with what they're about to say. This is very interesting because we are actually intending. This is intended to be for us a gift for Captain Trex. We are aware of his situation and the need for this part, and we thought it might be helpful to us for us to provide some additional support, as it were.
Okay.
That being the case, one wonders whether one would be prepared to consider the same price as you were going to ask Trey.
So you're essentially trying to tell him that you are working for Trex, or that you are like a friend?
And
We are friends.
Okay.
Sorry, my dear. What did you say, Jim? What did you say?
Out of character, acquaintance, kind of, but more of a
Sure.
friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that you could. Let me see what it would say. You could roll me deceit. This is going to be with 2 difficulty dice, and I've already forgotten what the other one's called, but the red one.
Challenge?
Thank you.
Is there any way I can assist in that? Because I have deception as a purchase. Well, as a Twi'lek thing, actually.
If you would like to kind of step in here, I would let you make that same roll instead, if you think that you would be better at that.
I'm certain that he would be better at that.
They would probably be better than that.
I have 1 yellow, 1 green in my pool.
I've got 2 green.
I've got 1 green.
Yeah,
So
you
I
are
am
wildly
the better.
better at that.
Yeah, because I have basically I have a D8 and a D12. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. What's my challenge here, Rick?
So it'll be the same. It'll be 2 of the regular difficulty and 1 challenge.
1 red versus 1 green, 1 yellow. Okay. That's not good.
Against you. Yeah. What was the result?
1 failure and 2 threats.
Ooh,
That's bad.
Sophia.
that's really bad. That's really bad. Yeah.
I blame that red dice.
Yeah. So immediately he's like, Rex doesn't have friends, and pulls out a blaster. Doesn't shoot you. Just pulls it out, points it very menacingly.
I'm not sure that I said that we were friends. However, I will accept that that is not an option that you'll be willing to consider. But there's really no need for the gun.
As you say that, he turns to you, Vex. He just says, I didn't ask you, droid. Be quiet.
You don't speak
Your
to one of my
pardon?
allies that way.
This is my shop. I'll speak however I want.
Garaka narrows her eyes and steps up. The part now.
I don't think it works that way. I'm the one holding the blaster.
Oh, really? And she pulls out hers, and let's see, who's got the bigger blaster? Quite literally.
You see that he reaches under the desk, seemingly pressing a button, as 2 B1 battle droids enter.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my giddy yawns. Dude.
So we're going to have to do this the hard way, are we?
Looks that way.
At least I'm not going to have to spend 600 credits on this petition. I almost after the Klingon curse, not a Star Wars one.
Yeah, so if you're choosing to fight instead of continuing to try and negotiate, then I will have you all roll initiative.
All right, how does that work?
That is either a cool or what was the other one?
Vigilance?
Vigilance? Yeah,
Is that
Whichever
at a
is-
difficulty or a straight roll?
just a straight roll.
Okay, well I'm rolling cool because I have proficiency.
Yeah, I'm going to roll vigilance because I have proficiency.
I rolled vigilance as well.
Got 2 advantages.
1 success, 2 advantages.
3 successes.
Oof.
Great.
Okay, so Jynne, you would go first.
So is it a... Okay. She didn't have her weapon ready, so is it a maneuver to pull that and prepare it?
I would say that's essentially a free action.
Okay. She would wholeheartedly have pulled her weapon out at that point and aimed it at the man.
Vorn.
And Vorn, yes, sorry. And would pull the trigger.
Okay. Before we do that, can you remind me of the other two? What you got on your rolls?
I got 2 advantages.
Okay.
I got 1 success and 2 advantages.
Okay. All right. I will have you go ahead and roll your attack then, please.
And that would just be the
dice pool.
There.
Yeah.
And then is it at a difficulty or?
What weapon do you have?
I have a holdout blaster.
Okay. It is just 1 difficulty.
Okay.
Apparently they're voting whether I have the biggest blaster or the shopkeeper. And now we also have to add the droid. We also have to technically add the black battle droids to that.
I mean, if we're talking physical size, it's definitely you. But we're talking the metaphorical, the big dick energy, so to speak, that remains to be seen.
2 successes, 1 threat.
Okay. And
so,
your damage was 3?
That was for the gloves. For the blaster is the blaster is you deal 5 damage on a hit plus 1 damage per success rolled.
Yeah, and that will be the same for any attack. That however many successes you get is what determines the extra damage, essentially. So yeah, you are shooting the shopkeep, right?
Yep.
Okay. Don't think he had any stuff. No, he does. Okay. Yeah, so he does take some damage. He seems to you shoot him kind of in the shoulder, and he holds his shoulder with his non-gun hand, but he is still standing. Doesn't seem to be too horribly bothered by it.
Okay. Cool.
Up next would be our battle droids. They rolled pretty well. So 1 second. Oh. Okay. So, Sophia, what's your soak? 4? So you are going to take 3 wounds.
Okay.
As these 2 droids start to blast you with their rifles. And Vex, you would be next.
How far apart are we?
Not very. I mean, you're in a pretty small shop.
Okay. So my stun grenades won't work because they'll stun all of us. In that case, I am going to take aim with my light blaster at one of the battle droids in the hope.
Actually, I don't remember if stun grenades affect droids the same way. I don't think they do. Does it give a description on them?
It just says I deal 8 stun damage on a hit plus 1 damage per success symbol. This damage is suffered as strain rather than wounds.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna.
But we're too close. We're too close anyway. I would end up stunning Oskara and Jynne as well.
I mean, there are probably times it's worth it. You know, it's kind of the. I didn't ask how big the room is. I said I cast Fireball of Star Wars, but yeah, probably not the greatest move right now.
No, I'll stick with my light blaster, I think, and aim at the droid nearest to and likely causing the most damage to Oskara.
Okay. They both unleashed. They kind of took their turns at the same time, but...
Well, I can only fire at one of them at once.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars doesn't quite work that way. Kind of like in the cantina where Oskara was able to take out both Gamorreans. It just kind of depends on the rolls. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Fine. Right, so my dice pool is 2 green. Result, 2 advantages.
No successes?
No successes.
Okay. What I'll say is you miss, but you hit the panel next to the door, closing the shop door, this heavy metal door in front of these battle droids. They are no longer a threat currently.
Well, that's better than nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not going to complain at that. Now what we've got to deal with is the shopkeeper.
Yep.
Vaughn.
Oskara, it is your turn.
I am going to quite happily fire a shot from my blast. I'm going to aim first as my maneuver.
Yep.
What's my difficulty for this one?
Because you're also in fairly close range, it'll be 2 again.
Okay. That's purples. There we go. That's 5 successes and 2 advantages. Damn, I'm still one. I'm one away from a damn critical.
That is
Holy.
ridiculous.
Okay. My carbine pool is 1 proficiency and 3 regular, and yeah, and then I get a blue. I get a blue for aiming. So
yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to roll a blue for aiming?
Yeah.
Did you aim?
I did aim.
Oh, okay, that is my
No
bad.
one told me.
I aimed too, so I should have added a blue, should I?
That's okay. That's
Never mind.
yeah. Anyway, how much damage?
That's 9 damage plus
Plus 5.
5, so that's 14.
Oh yeah. He's dead. How do you want to finish him?
Let's see. I'm going to start off by shooting the blaster out of his hands, and then in the chest over whatever nearby desk level object there is. So yeah, he's kind of hidden underneath a desk as I finish him off.
Okay, yeah. As he collapses to the floor, you can hear the clanking of the battle droids as they're making their way around, and they're kind of, mumbling to themselves like battle droids, especially B1s, are wont to do. As you're looking around the shop trying to find this part, you can hear that they make their way to the back door, kind of poke their head in, and one of them turns to the other, is like, he's dead, let's get out of here. The other one gives the Roger, Roger, and they just fuck off.
I'd be more concerned if he had a droidica. Myself.
You guys would be really fucked. All right, so with a little bit of work, you are able to find the part. R5 kind of just continues about its job in the shop, organizing things and stripping down. Yeah. You can see it's out in the junkyard a lot of the time, stripping down the speeder bike.
Jynne and Vex are able to figure out which part it is relatively easily between them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a question of finding it. Yeah.
Are you guys looking for anything else while you're here?
Enough oil for one. For Vex, because why not? Give him a nice oil bath after all this is over with.
Oh.
Believe it or not, despite having multiple droids, there is no droid oil here.
Oh, dang. At least it was worth a shot, huh, Vex?
Indeed. I am grateful for the thought. Most grateful.
Otherwise, stim packs, anything I can use to help repair this stuff later. I know I've got a kit or two here.
Right. let's see.
I'll have the Vex will also have a look around and see if they can find any emergency repair kits.
Yeah, I'll have
Droids.
anyone who is searching roll perception.
Roger.
And just one difficulty.
Okay, one difficulty takes me.
I got 1 success and 2 advantages on a perception check.
Hell yeah. Honestly, those advantages are almost better than successes sometimes, depending on the situation.
We haven't seen any triumphs yet, but that's because you can only get them on yellow dice.
Yeah.
Or the counter version.
1 failure, 1 advantage.
Okay.
I'm having
Jynne?
issues with my roller. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. While you're getting that to work, Oskara, you are able to find, obviously, the part. In addition to that, you find several other things. You are able to find 4 stem packs and 3 emergency repair kits. There's also a lot of junk. I mean, if you want to take junk with you, you're welcome to, but it's kind of just miscellaneous parts.
I'm going to point all that stuff out to Vex. Say, that's your department, not mine. I have my personal stash, but I think you need those more than I do.
Yes, it's very kind, and I will, be having a look through rapidly because obviously we're in a hurry.
Sure.
Just to see if there's anything.
It doesn't seem like there's anything that would be useful. Most of it is speeder parts rather than spaceship parts. So.
Yeah. But still, always
Vex,
worth looking.
are you talking to R5 at all?
I could be, couldn't I? Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go and find him and have a conversation with him about, whether there's anything useful for us besides that particular part. And if I'd thought on, we could have asked him where the part was instead of spending all that time looking for it, but never mind. But I'm not... He doesn't seem massively up to date, should we say, on what's going on. He's a bit of a... he's a typical R5,
So, what are you saying to it whenever you make your way out there?
Just checking with him. What does he know anything about this person? When did they come in to see see about the part? Does he have a supply of repair packs that I could have, repair kits that I could borrow?
I think you probably would have still been in the shop whenever Oskara found the stem packs and the repair kits, so you would know that you guys were able to find some. I would say if you want to roll coercion or charm, either one.
Charm, because I am proficient in charm.
And I'm going to say we're going to call this 2 difficulty dice because it's been out here working on this speeder bike and doesn't really know anything else.
Right. So that's 2 of the purple one. Oh, okay. 1 advantage.
Okay. So, because your successes and failures canceled out,
Yes.
it just kind of makes rude noises at you. Doesn't tell you anything useful, other than mentioning that Vorn is the droid equivalent of an asshole. And that
Yes.
it knows about the spaceport, and that you will have to get past the basically the guards, like the people who would allow you in.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you don't really get anything useful. It seems pretty angry for a droid.
Ooh.
Yes, that was very ill-mannered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am, somewhat higher up the hierarchy than you are. I would have expected at least a certain element of politeness.
As you say that, it's got like a little welding tool out, cutting it out, and it just turns to you and like flares it a little bit.
Very well. I can see that I'm not wanted here. I shall depart. But don't expect me to thank you for your information.
Yeah, it gives you the droid equivalent of fuck you.
Oh, dear.
It's a very angry little R5. For good reason. I mean...
Well, we have just, sort of put it out of business.
It doesn't know that. It's been outside working on the speeder bike. It has no idea. It has no idea that Vorn is dead.
As I'm walking away, I turn back and just say to him, I don't know why you're so upset, but would it help to know that you don't have to deal with Vorn anymore?
It gives you kind of a quizzical beeping sound, and it just like leans over to get a better view.
Mm-hmm. We've dealt with him. We had no choice.
As soon as you say that, it starts quickly wheeling its way out. It just busts through the junkyard gates and then off into the streets.
Well, there we are.
Starting a new droid revolution here on Tatooine. One R5 at a time.
Yep.
All right, so Jynne, did you get your...
So how many emergency repair kits have we got?
3, I believe.
3.
Well, 3 that you found, but
3. Yeah, that's what I mean. 3 that I found. Yeah. So that means I now have a total of 5.
I managed to roll 2 successes.
Okay. Are you looking for anything besides stim packs and repair kits?
Just anything that might actually be useful with like repair, possibly upgrading our weapons, or that kind of thing that might be useful in the future.
I'll say you're able to find some tools that you think would be useful in repairing Vex if needed. In addition to like the emergency repair kits, and then maybe some starship tools that they're not necessary, but they're helpful. You also find, so there's 3 of you, so 75 credits.
Nice.
Okay. So she would obviously count out her share and then separate the other 2 portions and hand Vex 25 and Oskara 25 as well.
Raid the cash register.
That too.
I mean, this is called Scum and Villainy for a reason, so...
I'm not thinking that way. Maybe I should be. So yeah, let's raid the cash register too.
Well, that's where you found the credits.
Right.
In the register.
Yeah.
All right, so you all don't find anything else.
Can I just check? Can I just see? I don't suppose it's unlikely, but there might be some med kit or a med kit for just in case
you all
did himself an injury.
You all had gotten 4 stim packs and 3 emergency repair kits. That's what you were able to find with your search.
All right, so no specific med kits of the sort that I would be using as a doctor.
That would be the stim packs.
Or would that be the stim packs? Oh, right, okay.
Essentially like a Bacta spray that you could put on their wounds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as you all have finished raiding this shop after murdering the shopkeep and liberating its droids, I think that's probably a good place for us to take a break.
One.
Hey, that's a thing.
Nearly.
Thank you, Liz.
It's a thing, yeah. It nearly worked.
Thank you for being my personal countdowner. Timer. Just countdowner. That's what it is.
Yes.
So now that you all have murdered this shopkeep, who really probably deserved it, let's be real. What is the plan from here?
The first thing I need to do is check that Jynne and Oskara are okay, and I'm perfectly clear that Oskara isn't. Would you like me to help?
If you insist, I've had worse.
Yes, but if we could do something about it, then that's, you may find ourselves needing you to be, strong and fully together.
Vex has a point. We don't know what we're going to face once we get to the port.
Exactly.
Fine. And she kind of pulls up like the skin glove where she took a hit, and yes, has a bit of a nasty wound going on.
Very well. I am going to roll.
I was going to say, do you want to use your medicine, or do you just want to use a stim pack? Either way works.
I'm going to use my medicine, I think.
Okay.
Is there a way I can help them with that?
Do you have any points in?
I don't have.
Not the dice pool, like any ranks in medicine.
I don't have any ranks, no. But I had like a 4 dice pool. That's why I was asking.
I would say you could give them an extra of the regular dice.
Okay, I'll do that.
And it would only be a 1 difficulty.
No, not that one. The purple one. So have I been given what extra dice have I been given?
The ability dice, the green.
The green. So that's 3, so 2. Go. Oh. 2 successes, 4 advantages, 1 triumph.
Wow.
Oskara, it's like you didn't even get shot.
Yeah, that triumph alone.
Yeah. As Vex has all sorts of little tools that come out of their arm and other various places on their droid body. They are able to patch you up. There's not even a mark.
That's much better.
So you would recover all wounds and all strain.
Yeah, I'm back to factory settings.
Yes.
Wow.
Been hanging around Vex too much.
Jynne, do you need any help?
I do not. I didn't really get hurt that time, and
Good. Fine. I am just checking.
How about yourself? Did you get hurt?
No, I didn't. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Perfect.
Yeah. We did very well. But I would suggest that we probably now need to leave and make our way to the docking bays.
Yeah, as you all are patching up and discussing plans, you do hear shouting in the streets, and it sounds like Gamorrean.
Not again.
I think we should leave by the back door.
Yes.
Very quickly.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing.
So, headed to spaceport control?
Yeah.
Okay. I will have all of you roll me. I'm going to say, let's go stealth. Or cool, whichever's better. despite the name, cool is essentially your ability to stay cool under pressure, not how cool you are.
I kind of figured.
What's our difficulty, Rick?
I'm gonna just say 1. There's a lot of back alleys and stuff.
Okay.
One success, one threat.
1 success, 2 advantages.
Okay.
Ooh.
2 successes, 1 threat.
All right, so I'm going to keep the same ruling from before. Our threats and advantages have canceled each other out because they were even here.
You're all welcome.
We have several successes, so you are all able to make your way to the spaceport control. You do hear the Gamorreans seem to be searching the streets in greater numbers, but you're all able to take back alleys. Yes, they have returned in greater numbers.
Are they single file?
No.
Damn.
They're not quite as organized as sand people.
Damn.
So,
Oh, well.
Spaceport Control is a low, squat building clinging to the edge of the Moschuta Bluff. The front entrance stands open, but a pair of security droids stand at attention on either side. If you're going to get off Tatooine, you'll need to disable the docking clamps, whether that's through, convincing them to let you go onto the ship that you belong there, or by breaking in, that hold the Crate Fang in its landing bay. You can only do that from inside of Spaceport Control.
Do either of you know how to slice security droids?
What would that roll be, by the way?
It'd be probably slicing, right, Vic?
Yeah.
Vic?
Slicing?
Mechanics.
Mechanics.
Yeah.
That would probably be me.
The biggest issue here that I would say, Oskara, you would probably be the one who would know best, being a bounty hunter and a little bit more experienced in this sort of fuckery. There are 2 of them. So if you're trying to slice one, the other one is going to notice that pretty easily.
We need to take him out, don't we?
I mean, I could try and deceive the other one and try and distract it long enough for you to try and hack the other one.
Let me just tell you now that you can see, because the door is open, past the droids, there are people inside of the control center. So if you start shooting, people will definitely notice. In addition to the passersby on the street.
So distract and slice it is. Because that's going to be the quick.
Yeah, I have my dice pool for mechanics. It's pretty good too.
2 and 2. How about yours?
1 and 3. Rank 1.
If anyone wants to roll perception, I would allow that.
Not very good with that. How about you guys?
No, me neither.
I have 1 and 1.
That's better than me.
I got 2 green.
I've only got 1 green.
Is it?
I am going to give you a challenge dice, though, instead of a difficulty dice. Just 1.
Just 1 red?
Yep.
Okay. Cancel. Nothing. Everything cancelled each other out.
Okay. You kind of try to poke around, but there are enough people in the streets that you don't feel like you're able to get a good view of like any back doors or anything. You can guess that they probably exist. You're just not able to find them very easily. We'll say that there are some human guards that seem to be paying attention kind of in the alleyways. And that is definitely going to deter you.
Yeah.
We could try and deceive them and say we're here to conduct maintenance. I mean,
Yeah.
if you took your two mechanical skills,
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that with the humans or the droids.
I mean, the more direct would probably be the droids, so...
Yeah. I'm going to suggest that you two pull out any kind of mechanical who's in my whatsits and... Look,
Well,
I can pilot the darn spaceships, not fix them.
Yeah.
We've got the spare part.
Exactly.
So it's not as though we're not, it's completely unlikely that we will be doing something.
Yeah. So what is your cover story here?
I'm going to walk up to the droids and say, we've got to conduct maintenance on the crate fang, and she will point at the part in question and the fact that her two comrades have all sorts of mechanical tools, hyper spanners, and all the rest of it. Somewhere visible. We need to get in to be able to verify the job listing and all of the usual documentation.
Okay. I'm going to say that these two droids, they're the KX series. So like K2 from Rogue One, the very large, imposing figures. I would have you either roll Deceit or Coerce, whichever is better. And you will again have a challenge dice, but with your cover story, I'm giving you a boost die.
So an extra blue. Okay. I'm going for Deceit because that's better for me. Being a Twi'lek and all. And that's one success and 2 advantages.
Okay. Yeah, they don't say anything. They just kind of like appear non-threatening, and they don't seem to stop you in any way.
And I would like to point out I got a triumph, but it was cancelled out by a despair.
Oh man. So you got a nat 20 and a nat 1.
Yeah, which in this system cancel each other out, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. The 3 of you step your way through the doorway into a large chamber, crowded with computer equipment and centered around a large holo display showing the plot of the local aerospace. Standing in front of the display with arms folded is a human woman who appears to be in charge, and as you watch, she speaks into a headset in a formal, commanding tone. Imperial Shuttle Lambda 11238. This is Overseer Bryn with Spaceport Control. You're cleared for landing. A half dozen technicians of different species work at consoles, and there are 2 more security droids inside, near the doorway. Your attention is immediately pulled to the floor-to-ceiling transparasteel windows against the far wall, looking out over the desert of Tatooine, where you can see an Imperial shuttle coming in for landing.
So I kind of bunches her nose up. I don't want any Imperial entanglements.
I find myself asking, wondering why an Imperial cruiser is here. I mean,
one can surmise that it can't be good. So we
yes.
Yeah. Very, very low.
And it's only a shuttle, it's not a cruiser. At least not that you can see.
My apologies, I thought you said it was a cruiser.
We got to hydrate and a posture check.
Dang it. I don't want to.
No, you.
Give him the Uno reverse.
I need an actual. I need to get a reverse card from somewhere.
So, what's the plan here?
Well, I got us in. Now it's to my more technically minded colleagues to try and figure out how to release the docking clamps. Also,
I think-
if we're interested in what the Imperials are doing here, maybe we can get into that, but that might have clearance codes.
Yes, I'm not at all sure about that being a wise idea. However, first thing we need to know is which docking bay we're looking at, trying to get to. Is
Absolutely.
it not?
That is a helpful thing to learn.
Mhm.
So I'm going to let your 2 advantages carry over into this because we haven't used them from your initial roll. So it's pretty clear that Overseer Bryn is probably who you need to talk to. The rest of the technicians don't seem like they would have the authority to unlock the docking clamps.
Okay.
But you do think that you could potentially check the computers and see where the ship is located. It does come with some risk, but you know.
But there is a good chance that this Overseer Bren person is going to be somewhat distracted by the fact that there is an Imperial shuttle about to land. So it's possible that we may be able to continue the deception. Do we think?
Yeah.
Very possible.
We need to get to, we've got this part here. It's entirely possible, of course, that she knows that this part is needed. If she is the overseer, I mean, one would expect her to know everything.
It also seems like none of the employees here are paying any attention to you. They have much more important things to be doing. So, within reason, you have a little bit of freedom here.
Which of us has the better perception dice pool? See if we can see anything up on any of the computer screens that say where what's in each docking bay.
Yeah, so whoever has the better computer skill would probably be the one you want to actually do the slicing here
That might be.
of that sort of thing. If you're going to try to use deception to distract in some way, I will just tell you now, no one is paying attention.
I have yellow and 3 green in the computers.
Yeah, Jynne, you would definitely know there is a risk of setting off an alarm if you are to go about this in the wrong way, but there's also a lot of possibility for gaining information if you don't fuck it up. So don't fuck it up.
Okay, well, I have 4 green for computers.
I think it'd still be Jynne with the...
Yeah, because Jen's got a yellow,
Yeah.
the proficiency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if that's the plan, if you want to slice, then roll me a computer check.
Is there a...
It'll be... Yep, I was getting there. It is 2 difficulty.
Okay, one moment. Three successes, 1 threat.
Oh, okay. So, you are able to slice in. While doing so, you can all, who are not actively at the computer, hear comm chatter as a small group of stormtroopers enters. They don't seem to be paying attention to you, much like the rest of the people here, but you are able to figure out which docking bay the Crate Fang is in.
Okay. And which docking bay is that?
It is that one. It is landing
Should be
bay.
94.
It is landing bay Auric.
Orc. Okay. No, it was one of the 2, but I wasn't 100%.
Oh, look, Cat, stop this.
She would, as soon as she got the information, can she release the docking clamps from here, or?
Let me just double check. Yes, you sure could.
I would like to do that as well, please, if I can.
Yeah, I mean, you do that. You had 3 successes, so I will definitely allow that.
Okay.
All right. Anything else while you're here in the control?
My inclination is that we perhaps ought to just take advantage of the fact that nobody's paying any attention and depart.
I was going to try and find a little bit more information about what could be happening today, but she's completely unperturbed by it. She doesn't even realize that there's stormtroopers in the room yet.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, you know about the Lambda shuttle, but beyond that.
No.
But don't Lambda shuttles usually escort dignitaries or someone higher up? I mean, the troopers could be a guard. Yeah, can we see if we can figure out if there's some kind of Imperial dignitary, for lack of better terminology, visiting?
Yeah, I'll count that as using the last of the successes, because that would be the third thing. You do see that on this Lambda shuttle, there is a Lieutenant Herkin, and you're able to see that they appear to be here to see Timo.
Oh. She would immediately kind of pull her hands away from the keyboard, kind of recollect herself for a minute, and sit there, kind of readjust her outfit and go, well, that ship is housing a person called Lieutenant Huck, and then they're here to see Timo.
And Jynne, I'll have you roll me a cool check, and I'm going to give you 2 difficulty dice here.
2 difficulty, okay.
Mm-hmm.
One moment, I gotta clear my dice. Oh no. Oh no, we're fucked.
What'd you do?
1 failure, 1 threat.
Oh,
yeah, great. I love that. So, as you say this, one of the stormtroopers seems to hear you, Jynne, and says to the others, let's check this out. And this, we'll say, half dozen stormtroopers in their threatening white armor, carrying heavy blasters, starts walking your way.
Oh, I just got inspiration.
What was your result again?
1 threat, 1 failure.
Okay, so I'm gonna have that cancel out your failure.
Okay.
There's still the threat. They are still headed your way.
Okay.
But you have a little bit more time to potentially run, because I would advise running.
yes.
Oh yeah, she found out all the information she wanted to then, and got the docking clamp undone and everything. Oh yeah, she's getting up. She is picking up her shit, and she is getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
All right. I will have
closely followed by Vex.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Liz. What were you saying?
I said closely followed by Vex.
And Oskara.
Yeah. So I
Is
will
there
have.
a back door?
It does not seem like you could get to the back door faster than you could get to the front door. So I will have all 3 of you roll me cool, and it is going to be with 2 challenge die.
2 challenge and not
2 reds.
Yep.
Boy.
Uh-oh.
One success.
You guys are gonna hate me.
Oh no. Did you really beef it?
And me.
I rolled a despair.
I've got one failure and one threat.
Okay. So, we did say before, because this is the first session, we're not going to worry too much about the crit success and crit fail. It is a crit fail for Jynne, and then a threat and a fail. But we had one success, so that fail cancels out for the group. So you just have a threat and a despair, which all essentially count as 2 threat here. They all point their blasters, these stormtroopers, and they're all yelling, "Stop!" as you start to run away. Blaster fire all around you as you make your way out of the command center.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there are more stormtroopers quickly headed your way. They don't seem to have yet responded to the blaster fire coming out, but they can clearly see you, and they appear to have a high-ranking Imperial officer with them. You can assume probably the lieutenant.
Well, that's Lieutenant Hacken, like I was telling you guys. Like, really, really quick, low voices.
Yeah. The issue is they are between you and Landing Bay Auric.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
Vex, this might be a good time for one of those lovely little grenades of yours.
My stun grenades, yes. Yes, I think you're probably right.
All right. You do have a small amount of the element of surprise here for the Imperial troopers outside before they respond. So please make me a grenade roll.
Oh, please roll me.
You really better hope you do. This is going to be with 2 of the regular difficulty dice.
Bother. 2 successes, 2 threats.
Okay. So with your 2 successes, you throw this grenade into the center of these stormtroopers, managing to stun all of them and the lieutenant, as well as a good number of civilians in the area who were trying to get out of the way of the stormtroopers, but close enough to be struck by this stun.
Excellent.
You have definitely pissed off the locals, and people begin pelting you with anything they can find.
Okay. I'm still inclined to just run. We've now cleared the way to get to the...
Essentially, yeah. You have a moment before they would be able to react, so you are able to get past them, if that is the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. The civilians don't seem to be blocking you from getting to the spaceport, but they're definitely going to harass you the entire way. So, as you make your way there, there are yet more guards.
Okay.
And you're going to have a harder time convincing them, as people have been throwing things at you. You're probably now covered in various Star Wars fruits and vegetables, as well as, having been hit by rocks and spare parts. And
Look, as long as it isn't Pampa Poodoo, we're fine.
a little bit here and there, but it just mixes in with the rest of it. So, what are we doing here?
Right, so we're coming out of the spaceport control.
You've made your way to the hangar, and there is a guard here.
Right, we've already got to the
large hangar that looms before you, with the letter Auric, essentially A, stenciled onto the building side as you approach. You can see through the hangar doors that there is a cavernous interior where a large bucket of bolts type YT 1300 freighter sits. You can assume that that is probably the Crate Fang. There are 2 security droids outside.
Of course, there's 2 of them. I was saying if there's one, I could slice one. Make it work for us, but...
And these are B2s. They are the super battle droids.
Again, I would love to make them work for us, but I don't think that would work.
I can try to deceive them, and if worse comes to worse, we're going to have to blast our way in.
Absolutely.
So, cover story for this one is, okay, we're being pelted with all kinds of things. We beat someone at a game of Sabak, but they riled up the crowd, and we're trying to get out now with our winnings.
Sounds good to me.
We may or may not have cheated, which is why the crowd is pissed at us.
Are you in any way saying like why you belong on the ship?
We belong on the ship because especially me actually. I'm one of Temo's bounty hunters, and I have a job to get to.
And someone stole your ship.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely know that the ship is registered to Trex, not to Oskara.
But
No,
at the same time, I'm working with Trex on this job with Temo's.
Yeah. So it'll be the same thing.
We've come with you because we're going to do the work.
Yeah,
but
these are my...
That work can be done en route. It doesn't have to be done.
Yeah, these are 2 of Temo's mechanics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I will have you roll the same, either coercion or deception. It will be with a single challenge die, but I will give you a boost die.
1 success, 1 advantage.
You are rolling so well.
It'll work. I mean, I wouldn't say that's so well. That's scraping by mostly.
It's like better than me.
And me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a despair, so, it works. So these battle droids, they do step in front of you, with their stiff gait, pointing their arm cannons at you. And as you tell them the story, they just put their arms up and they step aside. As you make your way past into the hangar bay, you can see that the docking clamps have been unlocked.
Wonderful. So immediately I go towards the ship and I start trying to add this part to where we need it.
Okay, that's going to be probably a low priority, as you know that those stormtroopers are going to be hot on their tail as soon as they recover.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
And as you begin to make your way up the ramp into this Millennium Falcon knockoff.
Down. I was thinking we might have to figure out how to get the ramp down.
No, the ramp is down. This is the Millennium Falcon, but shittier, because it is literally the same type of ship. You make your way on board. It smells awful. It smells of all kinds of body odor, rotting food, just not pleasant things. It is also disgusting inside. Like, these people do not clean, they do not take care of the ship. And you all, as you're making your way up the ramp, can hear stormtroopers shouting from not very far away.
As we each get to the top of the ramp, Vex looks around quickly, sees the right button, and bangs the button to get the ramp up.
Yep.
As fast as possible, which will give us a little time.
Yeah, and as you all kind of make your way through the ship, there are, both on the dorsal and ventral part of the ship, laser cannons.
Nice.
Someone has to pilot. Someone needs to eventually install that part. But what are you doing?
So, my piloting and gunnery, because I'm assuming gunnery will be the combat skill in question, because it's big laser cannons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are both equal at 4 green. So I can do either of those. If someone is better at planetary piloting, by all means.
I have a rank in astrogation, but I also have 2 ranks in mechanics, so it's literally however we want to play this out.
What about Vex?
Vex isn't great at anything.
You're a great
I have no rank and just 2 green in gunnery, and my mechanics is quite good, but not as good as Jynne. So Jynne should definitely be the one fixing the part. And
Oh boy.
piloting. Again, no ranking and just 2 greens. But I would probably be, that doesn't necessarily mean that I would be, even if I don't manage to hit anything, which as a physician I wouldn't mind about not doing. I would at least be able to distract them.
Now you suddenly have a moral compass and don't want to kill people.
Physician.
These are stormtroopers.
This
you
is
guys
true.
murdered a shopkeep, but stormtroopers are questionable.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I would, at the very least, I would be able to distract them.
True. So who's going where? You do not have very long to decide.
I will go and pilot. If Vex is going to distract with the guns, I will go and pilot.
And I will run and start trying to install that part.
Okay. So, I'm going to start with Vex. I would like you to make me a gunnery check with 2 difficulty.
Two failures.
Oof. Okay. You start to blast in the direction of these stormtroopers. It's a little difficult to get used to these controls. It's not quite the same as a regular blaster, and you just fire wildly, tearing up the concrete, but not actually hitting anything. So, Sophia, I would like you to make me a piloting roll, please.
Mm-hmm. What's the difficulty?
We're gonna say 2 again.
Okay. That is 1 success and 1 advantage.
Hell yeah. All right. As you are able to get to the cockpit, the Crate Dragon thrums to life. The engines power up, lifting through the hangar bay doors and into the bright sunlight of the double suns of Tatooine. Soon, Mos Shuta vanishes behind you as you race out over the dune sea and climb towards space. Suddenly, an alert klaxon blares. As you leave the atmosphere, several spherical starfighters with distinct hexagonal wings appear on the ship scanners, screaming in at an intercept course.
We got eyeballs!
TIE fighters scream past you. Sparks fly from a console in the cockpit as you've been hit. You're not clear of the planet's gravity well, and you also cannot currently jump to light speed, as a very critical part is not yet installed.
Of course.
That being said, have we now transitioned to space rather than planetary?
You are still in the atmosphere, barely.
Okay,
You
so
will very soon be out, but currently still within.
Okay.
All right. So, Jynne,
Yeah.
I need you to make a mechanics check with 2 difficulty dice.
Of course.
And it needs to be really, really good because you need to get that part in instantly.
4 advantages.
Okay. So, while you're having a little bit of difficulty, you do manage to tweak things just a little bit, get a little bit more speed out of the engines, and you seem to be making your way further from these TIE fighters. While they are very fast and agile, you seem to have a little bit of an advantage over them currently.
Okay.
And I would say, as we go back to Vex, I will let you make another gunnery check, and I will give you a boost die.
Oh, thank you. That's
And it will still be 2 difficulty.
1 blue, 2 purple, 2 green. 2 failures, 1 advantage.
Okay.
I'm really not good at this.
Yeah. You do not hit these TIE fighters, but they seem to be keeping their distance a little bit. They seem to have maybe slowed down, as they can tell that they would not last long against your cannons. Sophia, I'm going to give you some options here as soon as I remember where that was. 1 moment. Keeper is buffering.
what I want to know is where's the actual pilot of this tin can? this piece of junk?
Sorry, your pilot is in another spaceship currently.
Yeah. Or hiding in the smuggler's compartment, sleeping.
Yeah. So, you have some options. You could take the action to gain the advantage. You could use evasive maneuvers. Or you could try to stay on target, which would give Vex an advantage, an extra ability die. The evasive maneuvers would make it more difficult for them to hit you, of course. Gain the action. Yeah, that would make it more difficult for them to catch you, essentially.
How many ties are on our tail?
3.
I'm going to stay on target and give Vex a better shot at taking one of the squints out.
Yeah. Let's see.
And yes, I will be calling TIE fighter squints because that is the official slang for a TIE fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or an eyeball, either way.
Yeah. So I will have you roll me another piloting check. Replace one of the difficulty dice with a challenge dice.
Okay. One of these, and that is 2 advantages.
Okay. So your evasive maneuvers could use some work. You're not the best pilot in the galaxy, that's for sure. But you are able to give a boost die to your pal. Jynne, I need you to make another mechanics check, please.
Same difficulty?
Yep.
Whoa. This is a good whoa. Don't worry.
I think I've figured out the difference in the woes. Mostly.
5 successes.
Holy shit. Okay. Hold on. So, you know that this would normally take a little while to install. The tools that you picked up, as I said earlier, are not necessary, but they're helpful.
Oh, yeah.
And you have just the right tool. You are able to get this installed in time and would let our lovely pilot know that Lightspeed is now available.
Hit it!
I have to plot a course first, unless you're telling me to just jump blindly.
Yeah, you do have one more round for the computer to catch up, but you are now able to jump to Lightspeed.
Just letting you know.
So, back to Vex. Have you know another gunnery, but this time with your boost die.
I turn it clear first. 1 blue, 2 green. Have I still got my difficulty as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that
Same
one?
difficulty.
Yeah. Which was 2, yeah?
Yeah.
2 failures, 4 advantages. Come on, I surely ought to hit something with that.
We are failing forward tonight. That is the theme.
Pretty much.
Actually, you know what? That's the title of this episode. Episode 1, Failing Forward. Yeah. So, once again, you do not manage to hit any of these TIE fighters. They are pretty agile. It seems like these are not rookie pilots. They've been around a time or two. May have even been survivors of the Death Star, which was recently destroyed. Yeah, you do not hit them, but they are well behind you at this point. Oskara, what would you like to do?
How are those calculations coming along?
I'll let you make a piloting or an astrogation roll to see if we can do that successfully.
Am I in space at this point?
Yes.
Hey, because I got a proficiency in that.
Nice.
So, place that. What's my challenge on this one?
2. Just the regular difficulty.
Okay. That's 1 success and 2 advantages.
That'll work. That does it. Yeah. And because the part is installed, I will say the advantage here is that Jynne is able to repair a little bit of the damage that was done to the ship from the initial TIE assault.
Oh, wow.
And you all hit Lightspeed as you power up and the stars streak beyond you. You all have escaped the Moschuta successfully.
And now we're wanted not only by Timo, but by the imps as well. Great.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now that you're in hyperspace, as you explore the ship, you find that there is a Wookiee in chains in the cargo area. A very familiar Wookiee.
That's Conker,
I
isn't
know.
it?
Yeah, that's Conker.
Conker seems to be unconscious, not by choice.
Why is he chained up? Why would he be chained up?
Let me see here.
Look, it ain't easy to get a Wookiee in chains.
It is a Trandoshan ship. You know what? I'm going to say, Oskara, roll me just 2 green die. And I'm just going to say 1 difficulty, as this is just a straight up intellect roll.
3 successes, 1 threat.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure how threat would apply here, but yeah, we'll figure it out. 3 successes. You know Trandoshans are slavers. Their sworn enemy, their favorite prey, Wookiees. You do find on the ship there are numerous crates of Wookiee pelts, as Trex seems to have been very successful in hunting.
Is there any way to jettison these pelts before Conker wakes up?
In hyperspace, no.
Cock. That's right. We're in light. We're going to light speed right now.
Mhm.
Any way to hide them for them,
Yeah, we need to put them somewhere else.
Them up.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's very unconscious. He does not seem to be likely to wake up anytime soon. You think that you could probably let him rest off whatever has been done to him and potentially jettison them before waking.
Bex,
Mm,
fair enough.
can you see if he's just been like beaten around the back of the head, or if he's been drugged?
Yeah,
Or a combination.
or a combination. Yes, I can certainly go and examine him. I can.
Yeah,
I'll just do a medicine check. Yes.
Yep.
Simple
It's too
medicine
difficulty.
check.
And Artemis, to answer your question, this is the first Death Star. We are in about 1 ABY. So 1 year after the Battle of Yavin and the destruction of the first Death Star.
Two failures, 4 advantages.
I'm so glad that our doctor has successes in shooting people. Medicine, a little bit iffy.
I healed Oskara.
Yeah. Some of the other medicine checks have been a little less than desirable.
Indeed.
You're not 100% sure. You do see that there are a lot of bruises, a lot of damage. You are able to kind of patch him up somewhat. He does not regain consciousness, but he seems like he's not going to be horribly out of sorts once he does wake up.
I have worked with him before.
Yeah.
Because of his the things that he's had to do for Timu, but he doesn't look massively injured.
Yeah.
Nothing
not dead,
much beyond what he's had to deal with before, except that he's clearly unconscious. And whilst I don't know, my suspicion would be that is not a natural unconsciousness.
Yeah.
That there is some sort of drugging going on there.
Yeah, you would know.
They would
but
have had
for
to
the
have been
audience-
for them to have got hold of him.
Yeah, you would know this, but for the audience and for the other players who might not know, Conquer was essentially put into like gladiator battles for the amusement of Timu, who is a piece of shit. So that was his way of being embedded.
Until recently, 41 Vex was compelled to be Timu's doctor, effectively,
Yeah.
a medic.
Absolutely.
So I frequently had to deal with the results of Conker's exploits, shall we say.
Yeah, this is not the worst that you've seen him. He's not dead. He's not on the verge of death. He's been better. And he will be better, but currently not doing so hot. What would the rest of you be doing?
I'm going to go back up to the cockpit just in case the Imperials have any interdictor cruisers en route.
It'd be hard to tell while you're in hyperspace.
Until we get pulled out.
Yeah, that's usually kind of a surprise, though.
That's the that's the whole point behind interdiction cruisers. They mess with
Pull you right out.
hyperspace.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
So, Jynne, while all this is happening, she's going to try and at least clean this place up a little bit, make it smell just a little bit better if they're going to have to deal with the ship for a while, because it's just kind of getting to her, and it's just, this ain't good.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely know that this ship is worth a lot more credits than any of you have, so while it may not be in the best shape right now, it's not the worst place for you to be, despite, the fact that it is disgusting.
Exactly. So why not spruce it up and get it ready just in case we have to sell it at some point?
Absolutely. Let me see, because there was a description.
Should we not also just presumably there must be sensors or something that we can use to establish whether there is anything else living on the ship?
Well, and you guys were able to pretty well search and figure it out.
Or do we just have we just gone around and checked everything out whilst in the process of finding?
There's no active threat currently. So let me see. There was more.
I'm just thinking about making sure that Trex isn't going to pop up from somewhere and thing that we would not like.
You can pretty well guess that if he was going to do that, now would be the time, and he doesn't seem to be popping out to stab any of you in the back currently.
Good luck with that on me.
All right, give me just a second. There was a little bit more. I just don't remember where the heck it is.
That is fine.
Anyway, so you all, where would you be plotting a course for, actually, Oskara?
That is a good question. Well, I would be plotting a course back to my, shall we say, adopted family, where their nearest outpost or station or what have you.
So, meaning like Ryloth or Mandalore?
Mandalore, like the nearest outpost of one of my of cries.
Since we are still pre-purge and the Mandalorians have ended their civil war, you would know Mandalore is somewhat occupied by the Empire, but it has a little bit of a little bit of freedom, I guess you could say. You could make your way there if that was your desire.
It's my desire. However, are my compatriots objecting for any reason?
I mean, they didn't really have the opportunity to object while you were plotting this course.
Fair.
Do you inform them of where you plan to go?
Yes. I'm going to explain we're going to some members of my adopted Mandaward family and maybe have a chat with them about Timo and such, and now the Empire.
Barton says you should go to the moon of Onderon.
No, I'm not going to frickin' Duxon. No.
Seems reasonable to me. I mean, there will be, if I'm understanding this correctly, there will be some potential difficulties with the Empire, but I'm sure we can sort those out. And there will be medical databases that I can use and access and actually make myself a better physician, which is the whole point of me leaving that maker-forsaken place.
Jynne?
Yeah. I missed something, didn't I?
Oh, just any response to the plan?
Should look them both up and down. Any place away from Tatooine is better than nothing. So I'm going to work on cleaning this place up and getting it, ship-worthy. Because apparently it hasn't been ship, up from dock in a while, so
I can
by
certainly,
tomorrow to stop it.
I can help Jynne with that as well, because I don't need to be constantly watching Conker. I can just go back and check on him every now and then. Let him sleep
Also,
well.
while Jynne and Oskara are pretty nauseated by the smell, Vex, you're a droid. You can tell that it is a rank smell. You can't smell it, and it does not bother you.
Exactly.
So,
But
you
I
are
can
able to...
well imagine that it would be bothering my my
Absolutely.
compatriots.
So, as we are in hyperspace, the Great Fang successfully was able to jump to light speed from the edge of the Tatooine system. However, there have been some setbacks. The ship is a little bit dilapidated. It seems to hold together well enough, but suddenly, before you can do anything else, a loud klaxon begins to wail. You can hear the sound of a dozen snorting and growling voices echoing over the ship's PA system. The Great Fang begins to shudder and shake. As you drop out of light speed, near a planet that looks very familiar, it is not Mandalore. It is Rylos.
Uh-oh.
And that's where we're going to end the session. So we will figure out next time how you guys are going to take care of these alarms and issues with the ship.
Thanks.
Wow. What a first session.
This was all me. No one else wrote this, and I'm not using it or anything.
Wow.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope all of you watching enjoyed our Scum and Villainy that we definitely got into.
Lots of Scum and Villainy.
I did. Yeah, lots.
This was hilarious.
You guys are currently in the Scum era with all the disgusting stuff on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I assume we're rating somebody, maybe, potentially. Oh. Here's the thing.
Yeah, we're heading to D&D
I wasn't looking at
now.
Yeah.